everyone. We are live. We are just getting ourselves together for the 6th episode of Fuck Your Feelings, the show. And this episode is going to be on Pick Me Energy. I'm about to come around the corner, and here I am. Thank you to everyone who is joining. We appreciate the love and support tonight. We hope will be a good night like every other. Thank you, Robert, for not doing anything I asked you to do. But don't worry, I will take care of it. Awesome sauce. Thank you so much. Okay. Hi, Mo. Thank you for joining. We are just getting situated, getting set up. Robert is setting up so I can see all of the comments and everybody that's coming on the big screen TV because my phone is this far away. Hey, Rocksmack. Hey, sis. That is my sister.
Hello.
Hello, everyone. I don't even know if you guys can see him, right? Okay. If anyone would like to request to join, that would be awesome. I'm a little far, so we have to walk if you do request to join. But we are looking for people who are willing to share their opinions. I had some thoughts today when I was in the shower. That's actually where I do my best thinking. Probably like TMI. But I don't know. Does anybody else do like some really good thinking in the shower?
I do, definitely.
Right? Like I feel like I'm in the shower and all of a sudden I'm like eureka. Like I come up with this brilliant thought, and I had this concept today, and I was like talking to myself in the shower, and I came out and was so excited to tell Robert. And it's one of the reasons we chose one of the questions that we did for our poll today. Generally I do 5 questions, but today I did 7 because of my eureka moment in the shower. So I always think to myself, like, if I'm going to like write a series or a show or like produce our show on a national, international scale, like I feel like I'd be like sitting in the shower. Like not actually, just look at me, we're like not actually taking a shower, but there's like simulate a shower. Like that's my creative place. No?
Y'all following her.
So we bring the show to a national level. Since I do some of my best thinking in the shower, if we're having a creative meeting, it would be interesting. Like if they had a simulated shower, and that's kind of where I sit, because some of my... No, never mind.
Yeah, I don't...
So no.
Like a green screen?
No, like an actual shower. Like an actual shower. Like a place with an actual shower where I could... Never mind.
Yeah, I'm lost.
Hello, everyone. Hello. I've lost him today. Mm-hmm. Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining us. Again, we're going to wait a couple of minutes, but we're going to be talking about Pick Me Energy, and as Rob calls, Stalker Energy for the Mandem.
For the Mandem. Stalker
Look at you.
energy.
Look at you with the Jamaican little patois.
No.
Well, no? Okay.
No.
So we're gonna do stuff. I'm trying not to basic instinct anybody again tonight, and I hope I'm not. Am I basic instincting anybody? I hope not. I hope. Let me just turn to maybe this side because I don't want to like. No, but then that looks weird. And that's okay. Sometimes that's how I feel like I should sit to you, like just like respect the process of me. Okay. I just don't want to basic instinct anyone, and I feel, am I basic instincting anybody right now? Because I
think you want to basic instinct people.
Listen, if that maybe the show will go viral if I have a little, basic instinct moment. But like, my mama taught me better, my stepmama taught me better. Hey, tell me, like, I'm just trying not to basic instinct, but hey, if it makes us go viral, then basic instinct. No, see, I know how to set up. I was like, it's like women are taught to sit up straight. I was one of those women who were taught to sit up straight. Hey, you need a church cloth. My sister says I need a church. Yeah, that you church just kind of put right here. Yeah. But it's okay. Again, I'm trying to go viral, so who knows what will make that happen. So
we'll make it happen.
We are talking Pick Me Energy. Rob is going to define what that is, because that's like one of his favorite things to talk about is the Pick Me. And recently we've been seeing a lot of pick me energy, I guess, from both men and women on social media. And Pick Me Energy is basically people saying things that they think the opposite sex will like, because they're in that pick me space, and some of it is completely inauthentic. And so we just wanted to have a conversation because, again, I think we're not trying, but we have a more traditional relationship in this modern world. And I don't know what's happening outside our window. I know people are doing the most. So hopefully you can still hear us because these annoying people have done it in their car. There we go. It wasn't our car. Because
can't do nothing about it. Right?
Nothing we were able to do. I guess
milling through the car.
It is what it is. But yeah, we're gonna be talking about pick me energy again. Rob chose this topic. I think it's one of Rob's favorite things because he's such
funny.
Is it funny?
It is, though. I mean, you can go a lot of different places with it. Because where I wanted to start was because you were like, define pick me energy, and I'm like, I would go to the very top of the scale of pick me energy, and the originators and the revolutionaries of pick me energy.
Who's that?
Groupies.
Oh, groupies. Okay. Groupies okay.
Are the originators of pick me energy.
If y'all guys didn't know, Rob played ball internationally for 7.5 years, so he understands groupie, and Division I basketball for 4 years. So he's got a lot of years of experience of groupies. But I digress. Go on, baby.
She's talking about the basketball. She's talking about. All right.
Whatever. That's right, Mo. They be doing the most. So talk about that, baby. How they be doing the most?
Well,
I be doing the most.
We was watching. What was it? With Derwin and them.
The game.
Yeah, and it's like that's pick me energy. When you have a professional athlete or a high value man, he walks in his hotel room, and then there's some strange woman in there in lingerie in his bed. That's pick me energy because she's clearly saying, "Pick me." Now, that's at the top of the charts. And most people say, oh, groupies, they're da-da-da-da-da. No, sometimes groupies actually do get picked, though.
They do get picked.
Sometimes it works out for them. Sometimes it doesn't. But in general, I don't think guys take it serious. I'm not going to say that they don't like it. I'm not going to say that they even feel disrespectfully towards it. But I don't think that they take it serious. And that's kind of where I would leave it at.
I'd be interested in not guys, but in you. Like, he likes to, like, gloss over the fact that he played basketball at the highest level. And anybody who gets chosen, I don't care. You weren't in the NBA. But playing 7.5 years overseas and getting paid, that's playing basketball at the highest level. So let's not gloss over that. Okay. It's important. So in your experience, having played in Europe and South America, and clearly having been the big, tall black guy at an all-white school, basically, Asheville was, you said, mostly white. So you had 4 years of D1, and then you had 7.5 years professionally. What was your experience with Pick Me Energy? You ain't gonna say nothing I don't probably ever know?
No, it's fun. Pick Me Energy is fun. You and that guy will have a great time together. But when the ball is over, or the day is done, or the ADD kicks in, or whatever it is,
your ADD.
Or when you start trying to change the parameters of how y'all get together, that's when it becomes a problem. You know, I used to, like, honestly, there was a lot of situations I would in my head kind of be like, 4 or 6 months tops.
Oh, you gave them months.
But usually,
that's so nice of you.
I think that's usually around when it's like, so what are we conversation starts.
And that makes you run the so what are we regular. Run. You're just like, this is what we're supposed to be.
That would make her run because I would not answer questions.
That so what are we?
Like you would want to hear.
So are you feeling as if, as the man, because that's one of the questions that we ask, as the man, you should be initiating the relationship discussion, not the woman. The woman shouldn't be saying, so what are we? Because if you wanted to be something with her, she'd know.
I've been saying that from day one. You rarely will have to ask a man how he feels about you. You'll rarely have to ask a man to be your boyfriend. If that's how he sees you, if that's how he wants you, you're going to know it. And so many women just want to argue that fact. It's a fact.
I'm just here shaking my head because I think again, not glossing over the fact that you, again, were in a state where a lot of women were throwing you, well, literally throwing him, right, energy, throwing the draws.
That's something we wanted to talk about. So here's the thing, in my experience in observation.
Real life.
When women, the more a woman likes a man, the more willing she is to lower her requirements to get him. There's a drawback to that.
Tell them, baby. Tell them, ladies, I hope y'all listening, because he dropped some knowledge. Go on, baby.
If you lower the requirements, he's probably gonna lower the effort.
Ooh, did you hear that, ladies? If you lower the requirement, he's gonna lower the effort. So how we got into this conversation was, we were talking about back in the day in terms of dating, and I was giving him an example of a guy I dated. Another surprise, he played professional basketball. I was not a groupie though. Sorry, I realized I dated a lot of athletes, but I was not a groupie. Just so we're clear, they picked me. I was not one of the girls sliding into hotel rooms. I was the girl at the restaurant or the wherever, or on MySpace back in the day. But I digress. Anywho, so I was talking about a guy that I had gone on a date with, and when he came to pick me up, I stood in front of the car door because I wasn't getting in. He needed to open the door, and as we went through the dates, he opened the car door, and then he opened the restaurant door, and he did all of those things. And at the end of the date, he said to Sheba, "It's funny, you're the first woman I've gone out with that's ever required anything of me. Most girls are just happy." He was, like you, baby. He was handsome. He was like 6'7". Again, I was living in Louisville, Kentucky at the time. So Louisville, Kentucky is a small town compared to a small city compared to other places. And so when he came back into the city, because he was a local phenom, when he came back in the city, if he was going out with girls, they were just so happy that, he would pick them, that they never required anything of him. Like really nothing. Right. They had really no standards. Like their standards went out the window. And he was like, so therefore I just gave low effort. I didn't have to do any effort because this is stuff I would have done anyways. Like, I'm gonna go in the car and drive. Like, you want to come in or not? Like, but I was actually like, no, these are the things that you do without even saying them. Like, again, I stood in front of the door and he got it. Like, he said, oh shit, she wants me to open the door. I stood in front of the door of the restaurant. He went, okay, she wants me to open it. But other women hadn't done that. And so then Rob said, well, yeah, if I've always just kind of given basic effort if there were no requirements, right?
Well, yeah, or usually, remember last week when we were talking about telling men stuff, like a lot of times it would be like straight to the prize, and then you want to start setting the requirements after.
As in the prize, he means the pom-pom. I know our daughter's in the house, but she's in her room, so he means straight to the pom-pom.
Speaking of which, another piece of advice just from someone who's been horrible on occasion. Once you've slept with a man, the only thing you can do is stop sleeping with him.
Child, I'm just going to get my book over here.
I'm being for real though, man. Like, some of y'all, it's not a punishment. Like, look, if you want effort, you're gonna have to get that before you sleep with him.
Ooh.
Because after you sleep with him, whether it was a D, a C, a B, or an A, he's got both feet past the line, and we talk about that. Once people get both feet over a line, they are not willing to step back over it. You know what I'm saying? So at that point, you're putting yourself in the position that all you can do is accept what it is or stop dealing with him. Because that's your only leverage after that.
So I'd be curious to know because, as women, there's so many different things that are told. You got your mama saying something, your friends saying something. You got the Whole Is Life crew, like the Brittany Renners and the tattoo girl, where her and Amber Rose is saying one thing. You got all of these different messages. And, we created this show because we wanted to be able to give, change the conversation around Black relationships from a couple, and especially a couple who's seen some things. We've both seen some things, we've been some places, we've done some things. And so I'm going to ask you, if that is the case, if giving up the pum-pum early makes sure that a man isn't really going to put in effort, what advice would you give? Little effort. Okay, so maybe let me know what word you mouth.
Say any. That's where y'all getting. Look, you can make a man put in effort in like 4 or 5 hours. You know what I'm saying? He, for real though, like his undivided attention, his, like again, you extensively discuss things. You interview
Did you say 4 or 5 hours?
Again, that's effort. If a man will give you 4 or 5 hours, he's obviously trying to woo you. You know what I'm saying? So whatever you need to figure out about him before you sleep with him, that's what you need to do. Whether that takes you a day, a week. I don't know, a lot of dudes is just hanging around for months. That's stalker energy. We're going to get to that later on in the show. You know what I mean? Like any nigga that would just hang around with the promise of getting something is lame as fuck. And that's just,
I've dated guys who waited months.
That's lame as fuck. I'm sorry.
That's terrible.
But it is what it is.
Like 9 months.
Oh, hell no. No way.
You wouldn't have waited 9 months?
No.
But we're like twin flames.
Here you go with that twin flames again. See, that's I love that. I love when she says that. I think that we are like totally there. We're like this, peanut butter and jelly. But twin flames, that never crossed my mind. Like that, it never.
Thank you. And Joanne knows that I'm legendary in these Toronto streets, but that's another story for another time.
Maybe we should do that. Like,
yes.
when you're too much of an idiot to realize you got the golden pum pum.
The golden pum pum was out there in these streets, and people didn't get it.
Her stock in Toronto is much higher than I anticipated, and I underestimated it. And thank you for bringing me up to date on everything, Jalia Joanne. I'll do better.
He thought he didn't recognize the legend I was in these Toronto dating marketplace until he was told a story where the Mandem was telling one of our creative director, therapist, everything, our unofficial third, all of that. So she came back and told him a story about how I was legendary in these Toronto streets, and he realized he was sitting on the golden pum pum and did not know it. But I digress. I'm going to go to these questions. So we had a couple of questions that we're going to talk about, and we had an interesting one, and the iPad's kind of far, so I'm going to need you to get it at some point because we had, you just have to pull it closer, I guess. I don't know, but I'm going to figure it out. But we had 7 questions. I'm going to read the first 5. The first one was, ladies, have you ever asked a guy out on a date? It was 50-50, so 50% said yes, 50% said no. Fellas, have you ever been asked out on a date? 100% said no. But then I had a really good back and forth with a gentleman. He unfortunately couldn't join us to go live today, about wanting to actually be asked out on a date and what that experience would be like. Number 3 was, who should initiate the relationship talk, men or women? 100% said men. The 4 was, ladies, have you dealt with a man who wouldn't take no for an answer? 100% of women said yes. And the same question to men, have you dealt with a woman who wouldn't take no for an answer? And it was 50-50. 50% of men said yes, and 50% of men said no. So you can take it over.
There's a lot of women that have like very rapey energy about them, like for real.
Well, that's the thing. If you've got pick me energy, as a man, does that have to be aggressive, or is it a woman just showing you why she should be chosen? What's the difference between a woman who's showing you, I'm the type of woman you should be with, and a woman who's got pick me? It's like that kid who gets picked last to play ball.
That's why I wanted to have this conversation in this topic, because that statement, pick me energy, can cover so many different things. Like, looking at a man provocatively from across the room can be pick-me energy. Look, you always got to put out some type of pick-me energy, because if a guy doesn't know that you're interested in him, or at least have a little bit of something to go off of, he's probably not going to approach you. But I know we're in social media world, and again, everything is kind of on the phone, and you get to things later sometimes. But I'm just saying, out in the wild, organically, naturally, if you're out socially at a bar or whatever, the only clue a guy has that a particular female might be interested in him is the way that she's looking at him, vibing to him. You don't even have to approach him, but if every time he looks in your direction, you're looking at him, he's got to get the picture. But that's pick-me energy that, again, you're causing him to approach you. You're just setting the stage for that. And I think sometimes that's very different than like buying a nigga a car.
Oh.
Like, yeah.
You'll be doing this?
Yes.
How? Where?
Right now. But, you feel me? Like, that's also saying pick me, but it's like, I'm like, what was it when they was talking about the little story? I thought that was so hilarious. Like, she's like, I work 2 jobs, he don't work.
Oh yeah, we're talking about that on. So there was a meme going around. No, it's okay. It's for not your typical girl, but there was a meme going around where a girl basically on Shade Room had asked a question. She basically had been with a guy for 5 years. They had no kids. He had no job. She had 2 jobs. She basically said to him, we need to get married. Again, it's been 5 years. She's out there working 2 jobs. My man apparently, again, we don't know if this is real or not, but my man apparently went on his knees and basically told her he's not trying to commit to her because he needs a richer bitch. He's not fit for poverty life. Then she said, he's moving out, but I still love him. Help me. And we were like, what in the almighty Jesus Christ is that? Because first of all, what woman is sitting around for 5 years waiting on a man with no job to marry them? That's the first part. Je ne comprends pas.
And yes, and then on top of that, how bad is it that a man who doesn't work and is just living off of you, when pushed to commit, is kind of like, nah, I'm good. I thought that was hilarious. Like, that's like when pick me energy goes.
Can you not see us?
The comments are blocking your view.
Can you not see us? I don't know.
Our view of what?
Cass, are you not able to see us? Is everybody able to see us fully? Because we can see ourselves fully. Yes. I just want to make sure that everybody can see us. Anyways, Cass will let us know if she can't really see us. But yeah, pick me energy, and I get you. There is the energy of I'm letting you know that I'm interested, and that's women putting out signals, right?
That's
There's
feminine.
a signal that's feminine. I'm batting the eyes. Feminine. I'm looking over at you. Okay, if the comments are blocking, tell the person to touch the screen and the comments will go away. Perfect. Okay, good. Thanks, Cass. I just want to double check. So yeah, that's the thing. So basically, let's hold on to that. So you're saying that kind of allure, is feminine, but pick me energy and comes off masculine.
No, asking him to marry you is masculine. And he's probably gonna be like, because if he wanted a proposal and an engagement in the air, he would have initiated it. That's just my take on it.
I can see, but writing is covering my view of you. Okay, so I'm trying not to like basic instinct you guys. Dahlia Joanne, our creative director, tell me if I'm basic instincting anybody, although we may go viral. But girl, I can't see my messages. I just want to make sure.
She wants to throw that golden
I'm not shut up, Robert. Okay, so we just want to make sure we're good. And we continue. Now let's talk about my moment in the shower today, because Robin just brought up a good point. I see London. I see France. Oh my God, do you see my drawers? For real? Hold on.
Oh my God.
Okay. Well, I actually just want to stand up.
She does. She's trying to be the talk of the town.
I'm just doing the most. But I was in the shower doing some. I'm good. Okay, good. Cass is good. Everybody's good. They can see us, and I just had my little woohoo moment. So here was the thing that I was thinking of. pick me energy comes from the desire to be chosen, right? I think every woman can agree when you want a man, you want to be chosen by them, especially in this time of high value men, celebrity men, so forth and so on. You want to be chosen, right? So that's the idea behind pick me energy. As someone who's dated her fair share of professional athletes, I've been around them where women didn't care if I was around. They wanted to show why they should be in my place. You know what I'm saying? Like, I've been in those situations. Yes, I've been in those situations. I remember going on a date, football player. We went on a date back in the day in Toronto. It was Panorama. A lot of the ladies will know on the screen what that is. I don't know what it's called now, but I went to the bathroom. And as I'm coming out of the bathroom, I could literally hear him having a conversation with whatever girl had approached him, saying, my girl's inside the bathroom. She's probably coming out right now. And she was basically like, no, before she comes out, like, I want to give you my number. Like, it was a whole thing. He was like, nah, right? And again, I've been around that type of pick me energy. He was not interested. Maybe it was because he probably thought it was coming up. Who knows? Maybe he was saying that on the low. He was actually getting her number. Who the hell knows? But he did not find that appealing. I've also been in a space where I was waiting for same football player and another football player was standing there and a girl was really coming on to him. He's like, yo, my girlfriend's like walking up. And he was so completely turned off by the fact that this woman just so in his face, so there. So when we were talking about that, I was thinking to myself, as a woman, if you want to be chosen, think about it as if you were going on a job interview. So when we go on job interviews, before we get the interview, we got to put out a resume, right? And your resume is supposed to have your skills, everything that makes you desirable for this company. So if you were a woman and you had to put out a resume of why a man should choose you, what would be on the resume? And while people are thinking about that, I'm just going to read what Mo said. How you get them is how you lose them. Not sure where that message hasn't sunk in. Girl, to this day, I don't know why that message hasn't sunk in, because a lot of women don't seem to listen. If he will cheat with you, he will cheat on you. That has always been the idea. And I remember hearing about, and these scenarios happen all the time. It was just recently on social media, a girl was talking about someone who the boyfriend had cheated on her. He then left her for the girl that he cheated on her with. Now he was cheating on the girl that he cheated on her with her. Get that?
It's a whole back and forth.
Basically. So you're with me.
So the more attractive one was the one he wasn't with.
Because he got back to her?
Yeah, it's like the grass is always greener on the other side of the field.
And then he got his 20% and wanted the 80 back, but couldn't leave 20? Just leave.
And he's just trying to figure out a way to bust it down to both of them. Like, hey, this is how we're going to do it.
Okay. All right. So he wants to be in a trouble. That's what I said. I said, if he's trying to go between both women, they're already in a trouble. Just make it official. But that's another story for another time that we'll get into. However, I am curious to know. And I really asked that question. Funny enough, no women answered, but a guy did answer. And it was kind of like, why should you be chosen? Because pick me energy is going all wrong. Like, pick me energy, again, it comes off as desperate. You would say that, right? And it comes off as masculine. Stalker energy, talk a little bit about stalker energy while the women ponder and think about if you had to put out a resume for someone to choose you, and any men that are on here for somebody to choose you, what would be on that resume?
What are we talking about? Stalker energy?
Yes. Now you're going to explain stalker energy.
Okay. No, stalker energy to me is more like, and I think distinctly, I don't know, again, so when you see a video of social media, you don't know if it's staged or scripted or authentic or real or whatever. But this one was, and she didn't show her face. She was walking, and I guess it's a Walmart parking lot. And dude is sitting there with like 50-11 questions. Like, how you where you at? Where you got an IG, Facebook, Twitter, Snapchat? Like, I mean, and she's just like, nah, I'm good. And she's not trying to be disrespectful. Not like the chick in the car, like, where the rest of your house at or nothing like that. But she's just like, nah, I'm good. kind of energy, like, and especially the way that you're approaching, it's like rabid dog energy, like, I want you so bad. And she's like, you don't even know me. How can you possibly want me that bad? Like most women would feel. And bruh gets so upset that he takes the shopping cart and he just rams it into her car.
Oh, I remember you watching that. I didn't see it, but I definitely heard it.
And I was so furious when I saw that video. I was like, yo, like, that's why, I don't know, like that just really bothered me, because if she was with a dude, one, he wouldn't have said nothing to her, but two, like, there's no way he would have that same type of response to what is something that I think men should be very well versed in, which is no, rejection, not today.
The scary part to me is even taking that further. What if she had given him her number and gone through all of that? Imagine the first time she said no in the midst of going on a date with him or something. That's what his energy is, and she just said no, thank you. Like, I'm good. Not rude, not being a bitch, not just thank you so much, I appreciate the compliments, but I'm fine. And I think that's what most of us do. When that's what I do when men speak to me, when I'm on my hike or my jog or whatever I'm doing without you. Oh my God, no thank you, I'm involved, but I appreciate the compliment. And I continue. I'm not expecting a man to just run up on me on some like aggressive shit just because I said no. Mm-hmm. That is stalker energy. That's dangerous energy.
That's exactly what it is. And like that, get angry if like it's a position, because it's look here, that pick me and that stalker energy, they both come from kind of the same place. And it's the funny thing is once you've been the target of that type of stuff, you get that it's not even really about that particular person, it's about the circumstances surrounding them. Like with groupies, they don't really want that particular man. They want his success. They want his lifestyle, his stature. They want his
lifestyle.
Yes, his lifestyle. And it's the same thing with a man. It's not you, Toshiba, and your flaws and benefits and all of that. It's, I want people to know that's mine. Almost, you know what I mean? That type of energy, like that lock you in the basement and chains type of energy.
Like I could bag that girl, so that makes me show the man.
Like we was talking about it earlier. Like that's that same type that gets a validation from men through how trying to basically clout chasing off of women and stuff like that. Like there's all kind of weird stuff going on out here in these streets. But back to the initial of it, I think they all come from that same energy of just a person that has no business trying to be in a relationship with anybody because everything is about them.
Very much.
So the minute it's not about them, it becomes a problem.
Well, Mo just said toxic masculinity, right? And as much as there's toxic masculinity, there's also toxic femininity. And I don't think we speak enough about toxic femininity. And I think toxic femininity comes from not only pick-me energy, but it's the idea that how dare you not choose me simply because I don't meet all the standards that you have on your list. You're supposed to make sure that your standards fit around me as a person and not vice versa. Yeah. And I think there is not enough conversation about that. And that is why I, was thinking about the question, if we're selling ourselves to jobs, again, that's what resumes are. That's what portfolios are. That's what reels are. That's what all of those things are. When we get approached by a major distributor to do our show, they're going to look at reels that we've done. That's what I would do. I would put together a package of reels to sell this show and show why our show should be on a national platform versus some other people that they're looking at. And it's so funny that as people were comfortable doing that, we're comfortably saying, I'm going to put my best foot forward in trying to get this opportunity, but we're not okay with doing the same in relationships. We're also okay when the opportunity, we realize it isn't for us. You know what? They didn't choose you. You didn't get chosen for this job. We didn't get chosen by HBO. Okay, we're like, okay, we've learned our lesson. We'll do some more because maybe Netflix will come next, or Paramount, or whatever. Why do a lot of people not have the same energy when they're not chosen by a person that they want?
I think most people do. No, I mean, I really. I think most well-balanced people will, because I think most regular people, on the flip side of that, if that's how they're feeling, they will, like they say, you miss 100% of the shots you don't take. I think people are scared to shoot their shot with the person they really want, out of those type of fears, out of those type of concerns, more so than they are of like worried about messing up somebody else's jam.
Well, Mo just said something interesting, and I agree. I think people are confused about what putting their best foot forward first looks like. Well, balance is key. There are lots of unbalanced people out there. Preach a word, Mo.
Like, there's nothing wrong with being excited after a first date. If it went well, you should. But like, stalker energy is like, we in a relationship after one date. And
we fall in
totally
love.
Like, yeah, we like after one date. And now you got the girl kind of like, whoa, Tiger. Like, I didn't. It was just one date. It was awesome. It was exciting. And then, right? Or, you text someone and in your head they have a respectable time frame to respond to you. You don't know what people got going on. Like, you can't come into a person's life and start demanding all kinds of demands. Like
that they meet your expectations like without considering what theirs are.
And then usually all of them expectations is tied up in what you've been through and how you've been hurt and what you're trying to make the next like, again, we both said that earlier. I'm not paying for nobody else's crimes.
No.
I'm not doing no time for it at all.
I don't care what his baby mama's done. I don't care about none of that. They are not me.
And I don't care what none of them dudes did before me. So we were very much like, that's not an excuse to be on some bullshit.
Be an asshole. And that's true.
Because my last boyfriend cheated on me, now this dude comes in from nowhere and he has to prove to you that he's not a cheater. Nah, that's not gonna work. I remember a professor of mine in college, he gave me a philosophy that worked very good for me. I was like, but more people don't look at it like that. Is when I meet you, you got an A+. You are at 100%. It's up to you to stay there. You know what I'm saying? And most people, they will start just ding, 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 ding. And next thing you know, you got a D. You know what I mean? But you started with an A. That's very different than starting with a 0 and having to work your way up to a 90 or 100 or something like that. It's a very different approach. So, because what's going to happen is when you start someone off at 0, they're like, okay, so I have to go from 0 to 100 to prove to you that I'm valid, and I just have to take you with all of your shit. Nah, I'm good.
It's funny that you say that, because you were talking about, coming in and you kind of said him. And it's funny, I've noticed with my male friends when dealing with them, a lot of guys, believe it or not, don't want to hurt a female's feelings. Like, they actually, they just don't want, there's something, like, I would have guy friends who are like, yo, Sheba, like, met this girl, cool chick, not really interested in her. She's like texting me and want to hang out and stuff. Like, I'm not trying to like be an asshole and be like whatever, but I'm just not into her. Like, how do I deal with that? How do I
look here?
How do I figure that out?
This is gonna sound funny, but I'm dead serious. Men have caught murder cases trying to avoid hurting a woman's feelings. We really feel that strongly about it.
I appreciate that.
I don't think most women understand that. Like, not that, like, okay, the guy that gets off on hurting girls' feelings is the guy who got off on, like, tying a bag to the cat's tail and setting it on fire. Like, they're the same dude, you know what I mean?
Stop it. I'm done.
Normal dudes that like women and like girls and have sisters and mamas and grandmamas and women that we love and respect and value don't enjoy, do I look fat? He'll come up with an emergency. That nigga will slip and fall. You'll do all kind of stuff rather than tell your ass that you fat. Because you don't want to hurt your feelings.
Dahlia Joanne said, Rob, that is facts, and I was just thinking the same thing. And I found that. So again, when you have the pick me energy as opposed to the drawing in a man with your femininity, and most of this, a lot of people really need therapy to heal. And I loved your scenario because I feel the same way. If I'm going into something, you have a clean slate. You have a clean slate with me. I'm giving you 100% trust, and it's up to you to fuck that up. You can't, I can't say, like you said, I want you to accept me with all of my flaws, but I'll see which of you I'll accept. And ding, I didn't really like that, so you gotta go. Like, next, like, and I think there's a lot of that I'm finding in our dating relationships now, where I think men have a understanding that if you're too short, too fat, too broke, you don't qualify for a certain level of woman. I'm not finding that women are having that same thing, because you've got women going on Kevin Samuels who are not Beyonce or Kelly Rowland or Halle Berry going around and saying, I'm a 10 and a man should accept me with every flaw that I have because men are supposed to work with women, and I still want a man making $250,000 a year, and I want this and this and this and this and that. And it's kind of like, but you don't qualify. I think there were most men in my life who understood that they don't qualify to date me. And I've heard that. I had a guy call me one day, say, yo, Sheba, I was just with the men them, and they had this whole conversation. Your name came up, and guys were like, if you're not like at a certain level, do not approach that girl. Don't even bother. And it wasn't that I was rude. They weren't saying that I was rude, but they were like, why would you waste your time going up to a woman, presenting yourself that's got her shit together if you ain't got shit going on for you? I don't think women get that. Like, well, if you're not in the, best physical health, if you're not, mentally well, if you haven't gone to therapy and done your healing, if you aren't all of that, when you present your resume to that man of why he should choose you, what the hell do you got on it?
Okay.
Multiple baby daddies and Section 8 and whatever else is, like, what are you presenting? I'm
spinning, kind of tie this together a little bit, because one of the things we was talking about, again, like we were saying, men don't want to hurt women's feelings. So it's normal for a man to delude a woman on a certain level, because he's gonna lie, like white lies, big lie, like, but he doesn't want to hurt her feelings. He's gonna try to avoid that. But ladies, when your girlfriend, your 245-pound girlfriend, asks you, does she look fat in that dress? Why are you afraid to hurt her feelings? That's what I don't understand. Why aren't women keeping it real with each other? You know what I'm saying? Like, that's not a man's job, is to slap a woman with reality. Y'all supposed to come into that ready for that. That's, you know what I mean? Like, so it's not a big shock. He ain't got to pick you up off the ground every time it happens. Like, how is it that your girl, who is clearly a generous 4.
Not generous. Not a generous 4.
I'm just being really kind of mean almost, but like,
not a generous 4.
How is it that you are gaslighting her into thinking like, and I'm not saying that, look, everybody deserves somebody on their level. That's all I'm saying. You don't see me shopping in the petite people section. Ain't nothing I can fit in there. And no more do you, like, women don't do that. You don't see, well, no, actually, sometimes you do. You see, she's probably like a 16 and she's over there mingling through the 8s and 10s, and you're like, what? Don't do that. Don't do that to that apparel.
It's funny that you say that, because I find that men hold men more accountable than women have been.
Yes, niggas tell niggas each other they breath stank, that they look ugly, that their haircut jacked up. Like, we roast each other. We prepare I think because the dynamics, I never thought of it like that though, but men, we prepare ourselves for what women are gonna do to us. So we tear each other up, okay? Me and my bros, we are constantly please don't wear nothing inappropriate or silly or goofy or do nothing suspicious because your boys will roast you. That's how men get down. I thought that women got down similarly, but apparently y'all don't. You'll tell, Fufu that she's up there with Kelly Rowland and that they deserve the same men.
Thank you, Mo. So this was great discussion. Got a job. We'll see you next week. But here's the thing. I don't have that group of friends. Odelia actually just joined, and Odelia has been my best friend since I was 18 years old. I'm gonna be 42 in 2 weeks. So she's been through it, seen it. Yes, do we? I think women deliver information differently. I don't think we're as necessarily blunt. Odie can speak for me. I'm probably the bluntest of the crew of us. Like, I just, and sometimes she's like, Sheba, like, Sheba, like, what are you doing? However, I think if you're in a good group of friends, and we always talk about it, you're supposed to be able to tell your friends good, bad, and indifferent. The problem is, I'm finding that there aren't a lot of friendships, it seems like that, where people are willing to do that because, there's this idea that especially when you're a group of, all black women or, basically minority women, we're supposed to hold each other up. We're supposed to tell each other. So it's like, girl, no, you look great in that dress, and girl, you got this, and girl, you this, when in the reality, the world isn't going to do that for us. And so there's the opposite. So there's the opposite feeling of, well, the world isn't going to do that for us. We should do it for each other. But I've always been like, the world isn't going to be nice to you, so why am I going to lie to you? Because when you go out into the world, I've never lied to my children. I didn't lie to Tran, who's my biological daughter, and I do not lie to Danny, who is my stepdaughter. I don't lie. I tell her, like, it is what it is. When you suck at something, you weren't good at it. When you're good at something, you're just good at it, but you can be better, because the world is going to deliver information a hell of a lot harsher than I ever would. So I'm preparing her for the rest of the world. So I think a lot of women aren't preparing their friends for and we're also Caribbean. Like, most of my friends are Caribbean or ethnic. So we're used to parents who are very blunt. So we then grew our children who are very blunt.
But how Aristotle,
Odie says Sheba's face tells the truth regardless.
I study stuff like that, absolutely. But I think that when we had the conversation a few weeks ago about the state and the quality of women's friendships and how I look at that stuff, in Instagram, it's amazing to me sometimes how you can see oh, that was my best friend, and then that person doesn't even exist anymore in a couple months.
6 months
then
later.
It's a new best friend. And I think women, y'all make friends, there's associations that I think guys do. Guys have knowledge of each other. But if you there's a lot of guys you'll be like, is he your friend? I'll be like, no,
I know that nigga.
You know what I'm saying? I know that nigga, but I don't win no, because a friend is somebody you have a certain level of expectation about how they gonna hold you down, how they gonna represent your friendship.
And hold you accountable.
Hold you accountable.
That's
Absolutely.
the thing. I expect my friends to hold me accountable. Odelia's on and Joanne are on. Those are two women in my life that hold me accountable and hold my feet to the fire at all times. They do not let me get away with crap. And Odie has been doing it since we were 18 years old. And I think that clearly prepared me for any romantic relationship I was in, because and you make a point of that. I think a lot of women who have pick-me energy, or a lot of men who have stalker energy, don't have a peer group around them that are holding them accountable. They're being gaslighted. They're being told, yes, you can have it all, and yes, you're amazing, when again their life circumstances have told them otherwise. I think most women who are attractive and well-rounded and have a healthy balance, as Mo said, generally don't have pick-me energy. They have feminine, approachable energy, but it isn't pick me. Well, now, some of the most beautiful women are groupies, but groupies, again, are in a different category because, again, they're trying to, get a lifestyle that they think their pum-pum can get them in there. And it sometimes does.
I would, how I would equate it to is being in gym in 4th grade getting ready to play dodgeball. And me, when it came to sports, all my life, pretty much regardless of the sport, I never had to be ooh, pick me, I hope I get to play. If I didn't get picked first, I got picked second. So the other guy who was picking first, I was his pick. You know what I'm saying? I think women view that similarly. When women have had men approach them and court them and want to be with them, they tend to not have as much pick-me energy as the girl who's socially awkward, regardless of how she looks. Because that's the one thing, especially in this modern world, that is really crazy. Like, these beautiful, socially awkward-ass women, that is, like, wow.
Well, because they've grown up on a lot of social media and their interactions have been through this. They don't actually have interactions. They're not going out for their drinks with their girlfriends every Friday. They're not like, I now started going to my brunch on Sundays by myself and sitting at the bar and engaging everybody. Like, they're not doing that. They're not putting themselves out there. They're having this, which is why I told you and told Danny she needs to stay off Tickety Talk and be able to learn skills that are going to help her out in the real world. And Tickety Talk ain't it. But again, we now have a bunch of 20-year-olds who are out in the dating world and who actually don't know how to date.
Right. Don't even, like, much less know how to be with a man.
Stop scratching your skin.
Sorry, my back is itching. Don't even know how to talk to a man. Like, that is frightening. You know what I mean? Because, listen here. If you're beautiful and you don't really hold a good conversation, you're going to get a certain type of energy from pretty much any guy dealing with you. And it's not going to be, you're the one I want to drag to parties and be around. He's going to want to keep you off to the side a little bit because all you do is look good. So when it comes to, like, oh, he wants to show off for his friends or go to the mall or something like that, of course he's going to bring you out for that. But when it comes time for the more life-building type of activities that men look at the woman in their life on how she's going to handle those type of situations. Like, it's all good when he can take you and y'all can go down to the bar and get lit. But he's also wondering how you're going to represent him at, like, the company picnic and things like that, too.
Ooh, so I'm going to ask a dangerous question. It's not question time, and I'm actually going to need you to go in the room and grab the bowl with questions. But quickly, before you do that, so if that was the case, why'd you choose me?
Oh, you're going to put me on the spot?
Yes!
Oh.
Yes!
Okay.
Listen up, everybody!
No, again, and it's not, again, and she's obviously a beautiful woman. I'm very attracted to her, but it's her mental and thought capabilities that really keep us together. Like, we talk about the craziest stuff, and I know we say that all the time, but we talk about stuff that most people would get offended if their partner even asked them about that, because it's like, oh, you thinking about that?
Shut up, Dahlia Joanne.
Yeah.
Awesome, legendary.
But that's really it. I can't count to you the nights that me and her stay up till 2 or 3 just talking and laughing and being silly about whatever it is. And a lot of time it's this plan. That's why we're doing this. This is just natural for what we're doing. You know, like, this is, we could just put a camera in the corner on the wall and just edit that stuff and probably have a show based off of that, just of how ridiculous. I'm not itching. Get off of me. Jesus.
And with that, Rob's gonna go grab the questions. Okay. It's on your desk in the room. Listen, we have a creative director who gives us notes. She is on right now, and one of the things she says is Rob is be scratching his skin because he's got eczema and he be over there scratching and don't look good. So I'm trying to.
Fresh out the shower.
And he's fresh out the shower. You didn't even lotion your skin. You didn't lotion your skin. You got to work on lotioning your skin. So this is the part where we will pick some questions. If no one has any questions for us, we're going to pick these questions. We're going to answer them honestly and truthfully because that is what we do. And hopefully you'll get a good laugh. So I guess you go first. You always go first.
This hour always goes by so fast, too.
Let me see. What you got?
What would I do for you that I don't do now?
I actually asked that question in there. don't even know
what does that mean.
What could I do for you that I don't currently do? So what could I do for you that I don't do now? Is there anything? Because I do a lot, but what could I do that I don't do currently?
Make me make decisions that are inconsequential.
I don't even know what that means.
Sometimes you ask me questions and I'm literally like, I don't care, just do it. And you'll be like, but fried rice or white rice or brown rice. And I'm like, just pick a fucking rice and leave it.
Okay, so I will stop asking your opinion about, I get it now, about inconsequential things because it's taking up too much of your brain matter.
It hurts a little bit.
It hurts a little bit. And you've got to focus on running the business and making the money at your corporate job. I get it. Okay, I'm going to pick one. I'm not even going to make you hold it. My question is, who is more trusting, you or me? Oh, damn. Why do I always get the hard ones? Who is more trusting, you or me? Surprisingly, or maybe not surprisingly, I'm going to say you are probably more trusting than I am.
That is the correct answer.
First of all, there wasn't a correct answer.
Correct.
So if I had to choose who was more trusting, it would be him. He's also the least jealous. Like Rob, I don't know if this man actually has a jealous. I think I've said this before. If you were looking for the type of man who like shows you some inkling that he cares through jealousy, you would be surely disappointed like with him. So yeah, that was a good one. I hopefully you get a hard one. Like I need to like move these around.
She had to give me my flowers, and it's not just because I'm not jealous. It's just that I also say. I just firmly believe, like, again, fellas or females, like, if you... It's like if you gotta be over their shoulder for them to be with you or respect you or be on your mind, be on their mind or whatever, like, it's probably not a good scene.
But I'm gonna add to this. The reason I would say Rob is more trusting is because Rob's history has shown that he has more stick-to-itiveness. He is a stick-to-itive person. He will ride a relationship out until its last leg. This bitch over here, me, I will chuck a deuce and be out. Like Trackstar, that song was made about my life. Before Rob, I'd be quick to go. But I am committed to our commitment, and so I'm staying put. But that is the reason I would say Rob is more trusting because of his stick-to-itiveness. I am his fourth relationship in his 45 years. And again, this man played professional basketball. He done a lot of but in terms of committing, I am the fourth and the last.
Yeah.
One of the last, but we'll get to that another time. Next question.
That's accurate, though. I beat my head against brick walls way too much.
Dahlia Joanne says Rob definitely is more trusting. Thank you, bitch. We'll have to talk about that later. Okay?
All right. Girl,
can
we get bigger papers?
I can't. It's because my writing is. Which song best describes our love story? That's a good one.
Oh Jesus! I gotta find a song for this.
I got one.
Yes, please.
You're All I Need, Mary J. and Method Man. I think that's a very good song. And recently, John Legend and Janae Aiko came out with You Move, I Move, and I did this whole dedication for you. Remember that song when I was back home?
Homies and Friends or something like that.
Yeah, like You Move, I Move. Yeah, like that's
Lil Jon definitely in the song, I would say. Like
a Lil Jon song.
Yeah.
That's
like Lil Jon's. Yo,
yeah.
No, not that yet. I'm talking about what, like Usher.
Okay.
In that vein, or like what's the other joint? He just did one with Anthony Hamilton.
Okay, great. Sounds great. I'm gonna pick another question. Thank you, Jerry Tomlinson, for joining. I know. Thank you for the people who are joining late. We're almost done, but we are asking a couple questions. What's one thing you wish you knew about me before we started living together? Oh God, I got the answer to this. Here's the thing. I got a story to tell. Hopefully I ain't, again, basic instinct anybody.
Let me sit back.
Before I moved here, here's the thing. Odelia, if my best friend is on the line, she can concur. Okay, listen, no, I'm not exaggerating. Here's the thing. If there was a woman that had a type, I had a type. And mine was always an athletic man, usually played played basketball. My daughter's father is 6'7". Rob is 6'9". So when I met Rob and everything kind of clicked, I was like, hit the jackpot. Before I even got here, I created an Instagram called His Beauty, Her Beast, because I was convinced, I was going to be out here and Rob and I were going to be working out and we were going to be couple goals because Rob was going to be doing push-ups with me on his back and we were going to be climbing mountains. This nigga is lazy. Rob is like a sloth. You know what those sloths are? The animals that kind of hang upside down and do nothing. I wish I knew how lazy this man, because I had dreams of stardom. We were going to come and be Arizona's favorite couple again. His beauty, her beast. I mean, listen, the man's supposed to be doing push-ups. The man don't do nothing. He is lazy. He is a sloth. So I wish I had known how damn lazy he was before I moved here, because I had way too many dreams. This is why we have Fuck Your Feelings, the show, because we can have this conversation. Love you so much. But you're a sloth. Look up sloth, everybody. It's just...
She would definitely exaggerate, and she did.
I did not exaggerate.
But there's an accuracy to the level of, look here, she is Jamaican, as she's probably, the only thing she said, maybe she said Caribbean a couple times. I don't even think she referred to it today, so I'll bring her. She's Jamaican. So she is allergic to not having nothing to do. She creates stuff to do. She'd be like, I gotta clean the oven, and I gotta strip the like, she just makes up stuff that she has to do. And then she stresses herself out about getting it done. So yes, I'm very lazy to her, because I am like, and I'm very much like banker. Monday to Friday, 8 to 5 is my work time.
I'm done with you.
Outside of that, leave me alone. And I pretty much move like that. And she don't. She work 24/7 all the time. So yes, like when you hey man, like on Living Color with the you 14 jobs, you lazy boy. Like that's her. That's her. I only got 4 jobs, so she don't respect me. But
I'm done with
good.
you.
I do them real good.
One question each, and then we gotta go. Thank you, everybody, for being like. We love this show. We love you all for supporting us. What's the question?
If money didn't matter, what would you want to do for a living? If money didn't matter, what would I do for a living? Just travel, shit. Like, be on a plane 12 times a year for every 4 weeks. I just go live in a different country every month. That's some people's life, and then they blog about it and vlog about it, and all of a sudden that becomes a living. That's a good one. So this is my last question. If no one has any questions, God, I hope this is a good one. What one word best describes our relationship? Why do I get these ones? What
Awesome.
one word? That is Odelia's favorite word when she doesn't like something. She's like, it's awesome. When she starts saying, it's awesome, we know it's not awesome. Odie's like, but it's awesome though. It's awesome. So I'm not going to use awesome. I would say, I'm not going to use a simple word. See, Odie's like, because she knows. She goes, it's awesome. And we're like, bitch, it's not awesome. I'm not going to use awesome. I think I would use the one word for a relationship is transparent. That's a good one, right? We have a very transparent relationship, and last week I said, one of the most important things for us is to protect our home, and part of that is making sure that we're transparent. There isn't much that anyone can tell Rob about me or me about him at this stage in our lives that's really going to make a difference and be consequential in our relationship, because like he said previously, we stay up, and we'll probably do it again tonight. Once we finish this show, we kind of unpacked and we figure it out, but we have a very transparent relationship.
That's one thing, I just thought of this. How many of you, if someone came up to you and whispered something in your ear about your partner, would you look at that person like, get the fuck out my face? Or would you actually be like, and entertain it for a moment? You know what I'm saying? Because I think that says a lot. Like, with her, again, you couldn't run up on me and, like, a dude couldn't be like, oh, and, like, even when she goes out to brunch on Sundays by herself, which, again, is something I actually had to push her to do, if someone jumped in my DMs and was like, "Oh, your girl was shaking booty and all that," then I'm like, I would expect nothing less. What she do,
definitely
bro?
at the brunch shaking booty.
She's definitely shaking her ass at brunch. What are you talking about? Next, like, yeah, it's again, she don't have to like not be herself to be like, yeah, I'm not a stalker. I'm not gonna smack her when she come home if she danced with some dude while I wasn't there. What's wrong with y'all?
That's actually a good thing. So to wrap it up, the one word is transparent, and I loved you saying that, because there's a lot of people who, unfortunately, the outside noise can ruin their relationship, and we've done a good job. We had to work at it. We had some bumps in the road. In my new book coming out in March called Fuck Your Feelings, the book, I will be talking about the bumps in the road that we had, and we've had a few, but because of those bumps in the road, we basically like locked down tight this relationship, because we had to go through this experience to realize that doesn't work for us. It might work for some other people, but for us that is going to cause a problem.
Right.
And so we kind of course correct, and I think that's what relationships are. Relationships are constantly course correcting, and as we've said before, not only are we changing the conversation around Black relationships, we really want to think about people in relationships. Again, are you committed to the commitment of the relationship, or are you committed to being happy in the relationship? We decided we were committed to the commitment of the relationship, because damn well knows we do not make each other happy 24/7. It's impossible. Can you imagine? I don't make you happy all the time. Also, one of the important things before we go, that in the beginning of a relationship we decide, is that we wake up every day and choose each other. You have to, even we were going through a really rough time a few months ago, and I still woke up every day. Even when it was hard, I chose him every day. Sometimes I didn't like his ass, but I still chose him every day. And I think if you think about it, every day is a new day in your relationship. And are you choosing your partner every day? So that's the question I will leave with you. If you have any questions, any comments, any topics you'd like us to talk about, please let us know. If you'd like to join us live to help us change the conversation around Black relationships, please let us know. We would love to hear from you guys how you are keeping in your relationships, and if you're a single person, how we can help you to change your life like we did. Again, we went from strangers to cohabitation in 3 months, and we still together, so we doing something right, I hope.
No, we ain't got no relationship advice. We just talking about what worked for us.
He said we ain't got no relationship advice.
No relationship advice. We're not gonna be talking about he told me this, that, the third. No.
You don't want no parts of that.
I don't know what I'm doing. I just know that I'm straight up about it, and she seems to be okay with that. That's what's going on.
Good night, Rock Smack. That is my older sister. Thank you for joining us, everybody. And again, hoping I'm not basic instinct, but it is time to go. Thank you. I'm just going to go around. Y'all can see the dress.
Oh, dear, yeah. Thank you.
Bye.